An expedition into the unknown. The perfect exploit for hardcore off-road rally drivers. Drivers looking for danger, ready to accept risk, seeking an alternative to the mere everyday. And this is all that. The Transsiberia, the marathon rally that is one of the last great four-wheel adventures. 2 weeks and 7,200 kilometers from Moscow across Russia to the heart of Mongolia. At the end, heroes will have emerged, but also dreams will have been shattered, like those of Team America last year.
It's racing. You know, Lawrence is okay, I'm okay. Just the car isn't, so it was a hell of an adventure.
The Transsiberia 2007. The Porsche Cayenne with the number 10. At the wheel was Armin Schwarz, a man with World Championship rally experience, but that counts for little out here. After a little hump in the track, we missed seeing a ditch. We went into it nose first, hit hard on the undercarriage and then flipped over. And so this year he's out for a win. He drove in WRC rallies from 1988 until 2005, was twice German rally champion, and his greatest success was the European champion title he won in 1996. In August 2005, he retired from regular motorsport, but the Transsiberia was always an itch he needed to scratch. The Endurance Rally is a 2-week-long event with 11 stages of up to 900 kilometers. The Transsiberia falls into the category of rally raids. These take place not on temporarily closed off roads and tracks, but predominantly cross-country routes. The rally has taken place annually since 2003, and both professionals and amateurs can take part. The vehicles are almost standard series production models, and no special sports license is required of participants. Although points can be won based on performance in special tests, in the end it's the time that counts. Getting your four-wheel drive to the finish line means getting your navigation right, correctly judging the surface conditions, and picking the right tempo. The rally takes place in the months of July or August during the short Siberian summer. Nevertheless, there can still be frosty nights during the event's fortnight, but not only the temperature and the difficult terrain can be hardships. Reaching the next camp after a 16-hour day can mean the start of further hours of work checking and repairing the vehicles. First, you have to get where you're going. In such a tough rally, the dropouts are numerous. There are plenty of mistakes just waiting to be made. The route of the rally starts in Moscow, makes through Central Asia until the survivors reach Mongolia in the east. From Europe, then, to Asia via the Urals, the Altai mountain range, the plains of Mongolia, and the Gobi Desert. July 2008, the start on Moscow's Red Square for 64 teams from 24 nations.
I mean, Transsiberia Rally, it's a beautiful rally to do. It's a very nice, but it is very tough. It's not very easy.
The name of our team is Unfinished Business, and the unfinished business is we didn't finish last year. That's not going to happen again.
Only one woman's team is entered. Melina Frey from South Africa and Alexandra Hahn from Germany count as rank outsiders, but both are brimming with confidence. I'm pretty relaxed about the whole thing, thanks to my background, my job. In South Africa, I'm a paramedic. We don't always have the right gear, the tracks and trails aren't always the best. That means I have plenty of experience of tough terrain.
Ich habe da schon sehr viel Erfahrung mit unwegsamen Geländen zu arbeiten.
German rally driver Armin Schwarz is one of the favorites this year, determined not only to complete the course, but to win the event.
Also sind deutlich stärkere Fahrer am Start.
There are much better drivers starting this year. Each importer has recruited really talented drivers and co-drivers. I think some of the other marques are better kitted out, but Porsche has done a good job. They have learnt from the experience of last year, made a few modifications, and I think it'll work very, very well.
Sehr zuversichtlich, dass es gut funktioniert.
Stage 1 runs from Moscow to Vladimir. Already the first special test makes substantial demands of the drivers, not just the women's team. The ground is sandy and very soft after days of rain. There are 24 kilometers of woodland with plenty of water crossings to be dealt with. Melina and Alexandra come in 25th and 3 hours behind the leader, but in good spirits.
Auftrieb haben wir auch so. Auch wenn
Even when we weren't that good here, we've made a decent start. Our goal is still to reach the finish in Ulaanbaatar. All the favorites here drive Porsche Cayenne S models. The off-road version has a security cage and a cross-differential lock, giving improved traction. The 385 horsepower Cayenne can handle water depths up to 78 centimeters. In spite of this, however, every second vehicle gets stuck in deep water. Help is at hand, though.
Viele Schlammlöcher, Riesenwasserlöcher.
Lots of mud puddles, giant pools of water. Got across 2 or 3 rivers and streams quite smartly, although many had difficulties. Some of those who came to grief had technical problems too. One of the unlucky ones was Armin Schwarz, but he still managed to finish the day in 7th position. One of the favorites is Christian Lavieille from France. He got through the mud very well and placed 3rd. Day 3 was a long stage from Kazan to Yekaterinburg in Siberia, almost 1,000 kilometers to master. And just to make this longest stage more challenging, there's a 10-kilometer time trial on gravel. On the 4th day, the special trial was cancelled for good reason. A storm front softened the ground so much that the breakdown vehicles could not be deployed, and thus the driver's safety could not be guaranteed. Stage 5 saw the drivers making for Omsk. The British entrants are still in a good mood, but for how long?
It's not just about driving skill, it's about special equipment.
We have our special fog glasses, and I think this next stage we're going to be fastest.
Well, not exactly. This was the Brits' black day. For some unexplained reason, their vehicle caught fire. The end of the rally. Not funny, even by the standards of British humour.
Everybody, we've made some really good friends here. We've got some great people doing the rally. There's some great people at Porsche, so we just have to thank everybody at Porsche Great Britain for the opportunity we've had, and it's a shame it didn't go any further.
The 5th and 6th stages cross forests and fields, and there are potholes and mud in abundance. For Armin Schwarz, it looks like this. But even on these narrow trails, overtaking remains a possibility. Andy Schultz, previously a Paris-Dakar winner, and Armin Schwarz take both stages and move up to 5th place overall.
Now
we have to see if we can go on like this after these results. It would be great to go on. I find the rally's atmosphere really good, and our car is really well prepared. Coming in behind the Germans, the French are second placed for the day. But Christian Lavieille and co-driver François Borsato are now second placed also in the overall standings, just 1 minute and 40 seconds behind the outright leaders. That's these two, team number 12, Saeed Rashid Al-Hajri and Tim Trenker. But their lead is under challenge. Both are looking forward to Mongolia.
And now for the last 2 days we are leading the rallies, and it's very nice, it's good news, it's made me very happy. I have my new plan now for Mongolia, because Mongolia, this is another country, this is another race, and the race is still long to go, and we prepare now for the new race to start from tomorrow.
But now there comes a transfer stage to get the contestants to Mongolia. 876 kilometers with amazing scenery from the foothills of the Altais Mountains to Kosh Agash. A chance for our ladies to enjoy leisurely cruising through the countryside.
Also ich fand's wunderschön.
Just wonderful. Now the mountains, and there were glaciers to be crossed. It was wonderful. Just to have had this day, a day like this, makes the whole thing worthwhile. The trip was definitely well worth it. The Mongolian border, not far from the Russian town Kosh Agash. Formalities entail no problems, but processing the 70 vehicles takes a full day. The first entry in the road book for Mongolia reads, "No more asphalt." And there'll be no trees either on Mongolia's bleak steppes. The rough, stony track rises to 2,000 meters before the night's camp at the stage finish in Ölgi is reached. The first special stage in Mongolia is 429 kilometers and is anticipated by the drivers as being one of the most daunting. On a plateau at 2,000 meters altitude, the off-roaders head through valleys and cross passes. The Spanish driver, Pau Soler, and his co-driver, Laia Penado, are doing better and better. The 30-year-old has already chalked up a motorcycle rally win, and his job is that of organizer of Spanish off-road events. When the leading team drops out on account of injury, the Spanish team move up to second place, not a little due to the skills of the navigator.
I think Laia made a great job because navigation was not easy.
The French are getting quicker and quicker. They are very experienced and both have driven the Paris-Dakar several times. Christian Lavieille has won several rallies in the past couple of years, including the Transsiberico and the Faroes Rally in Egypt. Little wonder then that he leads the field in Mongolia.
My tactic?
Get up front and hold the others back. Okay, seriously, it's no problem being in the lead. We have the Spanish and the Portuguese to deal with, but that's not a problem either. Everything's going just fine for us. For some of the other teams, things are very different. Team number 3 from Qatar, for example, or the Italian team. A big dip, end of story.
The helicopter came. It could be that we was a little bit not concentrated enough and we did not see a hole, and that what came out.
The stages are getting ever harder. 400 kilometers through the Gobi Desert, then a climb to the highlands at 2,000 meters. These are challenges for man and materiel, and for Armin Schwarz. His Porsche gives up the ghost. Problems with the electronics slow the vehicle down and finally forces it to a stop. Fortunately, Team America is on hand to help, but the German team slips from second to third place overall. We have no more electricity. The lights have been kaput for the last 50 kilometers. The Spanish team sees the opportunity and drives past. Although there are few water crossings like these in Spain, the off-road professionals master them with bravura. In places, the water is a meter deep, but the Cayenne forges through. The Spanish team snatch 2 stage victories in Mongolia and increase their overall lead.
We still have to reach Ulaanbaatar, but the stages are over, and I think we are in the second place, so we are very happy. because we were gaining positions from the first day when we were 23rd, and to be in the podium was perfect, but to be second in front of Armin, it's a little present for the last day.
A hard test for the automobiles, wet, wet, wet for the weary drivers. Impressions from the riverbeds of Mongolia. The driver's clever mix of go fast, go slow, the navigation skills of François Borzotto, the French have shown their talent over the past 2 weeks and deserved the overall victories. The winners of the Transsiberia 2008. With a lead of 2 hours and 15 minutes, they triumph in Ulaanbaatar over the second-placed Spanish. Right, the other cars were also able to go fast, but we had the best concept, the mix of aggression and restraint. 15 days, 14 stages, 12 special trial stages, and 7,200 kilometers. 21 out of 34 teams actually reached the finish in the Mongolian capital. Third overall was the German team, Armin Schwarz and Andreas Schulz, and they had 6 stage victories out of a possible 14 to their credit. Their time, just 2 hours and 20 minutes behind the leader.
Transsiberia 2008 was for me a big challenge like last year, and I'm looking forward for 2009, but hopefully with a little bit a different organizer.
Still, somewhere out there are 2 intrepid ladies. In the end, they placed 14th with a time difference of almost 30 hours. Nevertheless, their Grand Vitara finished ahead of 5 of the Porsche Cayennes and 2 Land Rover Defenders, a noteworthy achievement. For each single participant, it was the toughest rally of their lives, and there are memories of an amazing Asia which will never, ever fade.